Yo, what up? It's Aaron Moses, and this is part two, man, to the challenges of having bipolar disorder and being in romantic relationships. Really don't want to read this in a list form, so I'm just gonna finish the video like this. All right. So, being bipolar, right? That is pretty much the definition of being unstable and being inconsistent, and pretty much like being unreliable. Kind of like no, I'm just playing. But just being somebody who is considered unstable, inconsistent, and untrustworthy it takes a big toll on a relationship. And I didn't even mean to say untrustworthy. I was just looking at the word untrustworthy. But it builds a lot of trust issues because you have to realize that this person is not always going to be in the same mood. They're not always going to have the same filter. Okay, and like I said, your mood is your filter on life, how you perceive, how you receive, and how you put out your energy. Okay, how you receive energy, how you put out energy is your mood, is your filter. So if that is always changing, how can you be confident that this person is always going to be able to do the same thing every day? People with bipolar disorder, yes, we can hold down jobs, bro, and that's a fact. We can make money, save money, we can do all, but it's just certain things that you have to understand that we, without medicine and without certain regimens, are not going to be able to do as well as other people. I'm not going to list those things, that's for you to find out. But just understanding that you're gonna get the same person. You're just not gonna get the same response in every situation. You're not gonna get the same results with your same methods of you trying to do certain things. You trying to motivate me might work in specific ways, one way, which nobody should have to motivate you. But let's say if you're a dude and you're trying to motivate your girlfriend, if you let's say if you show her tough love or you say something that might hurt her feelings, that might motivate her one day, and it might make her more depressed the other day. Okay. The thing is, guys, if you have somebody that is why I keep saying that? If you have somebody that's bipolar in your life, you have to understand them as much as they understand themselves, which, yes, that's a task. But if you love them and if you're really down to fight this war, this unwinnable war with them, you have to understand them, and you have to understand that this is a battle. And it doesn't have to be a battle. It can be a beautiful dance. It could be a perfectly orchestrated orchestra. And you can make some beautiful music with this thing, but you do have to understand what triggers them. You do have to understand how to stabilize them. You do have to understand how to motivate them. You do have to understand what to do and what not to do more than the average person, okay? If somebody's like, just like people who really know me for real, like my A1 day ones, if I call them, I'm like, bro, I'm so sad. They might just be like, oh, for real, hold on, bro. And they might play a song in the background and like pretend like they think I can't hear it. And then I just like want to get up and just move, or like even one of the little vibes, bro. I only have one now, but even if I called her right now and I was sad, she would know what to do. And I really appreciate that. If I called her and I was manic, or if she was around me and I was manic, she would know what to do. She knows what not to talk about, what to talk about. If I don't feel like doing something that I need to be doing, she knows what to do. And that's why we connect so well. But that's very important. I didn't even write that down. I think that's just very important for everybody to understand, with and without bipolar disorder. And as far as the cycling and the episodes that come with bipolar 1, I'm not that, so I can't really speak on that. I get triggered. I do have my moods where I just wake up and I'm just having a bad day just because I feel like it. Or I wake up and I'm just like, yeah, let's go, Super Saiyan 3. Like, that happens. But I don't usually wake up in a specific way. It's usually me just responding to my environment and whatever foods that I put in my body. All right, so next, the thing about it is, like I touched on this a little earlier, if you're gonna be with somebody that's bipolar, I'm gonna assume that you have some kind of disorder yourself. You have some kind of personality disorder. You have some extreme form of ADHD or ADD, or you have something going on, whether it's addiction. Just think of it like that. Like if you met somebody and they were obviously an alcoholic, or they were obviously a crack addict or something to that effect, you have to be a special, and I'm not saying a bad or a good or a loving or a crazy, to be with somebody that is openly an addict, an active addict. You have to be a certain type of person to do something like that, to commit to somebody that has addictive issues. So we'll just say, if your partner is bipolar, I'm just gonna throw something out there. Let's say that you have major depression, right? Or you have anxiety. You have anxiety issues. The reason why a couple of my relationships were destroyed is because my mania, me being manic, triggered anxiety in other people. And of course it does. It triggers anxiety, and for some people it might make them depressed to see me all just Tasmanian devil, like, you know. But that's what one of my vibes said, man. She's not my vibe anymore. When she was, she said that, I don't know, she might be lying though, because she was a liar. But she said that my mania gave her anxiety, it triggered her anxiety. And I didn't understand that. I was like, well, you don't have to be around me when I'm manic. Because usually I want to do other things like make music or something. Like, I don't want to just sit around and just be clicking on stuff. And I don't play video games. I usually direct it pretty well. But hey, man, it is what it is. So if being manic makes somebody anxious, then being depressed, of course, is going to stress them out, right? Because if you're a man, bro, well, no, I'm not even going to say that. Well, yeah, you know what? I will say that. If you're a man, if you're depressed, if you're manic depressive, I do want you to know that you have to either have a very masculine woman, right? Or you're going to have a very feminine woman, not the balance. And I'm going to tell you why. Because a balanced woman, when you're depressed, is going to want to leave you. Because first of all, a balanced woman is going to not want to be around that much drama all the time. Okay? So the thing about it is, bro, if you have a very feminine woman, she's going to appreciate your I'm gonna give you this, I'm gonna put you on some game, bro. She's gonna appreciate you being bipolar because it's not boring, okay? My mentor, shout out to him, told me that a woman would rather be in an abusive relationship than in a boring relationship. Now, how true that is, I'm not exactly sure. But I will say it makes a lot of sense, especially me knowing the little that I do know about people with vaginas. So, the masculine woman is going to know how to motivate you when you're depressed and going to know how to ground you when you're manic. The feminine woman is going to know how to give you space and let you just burn yourself out when you're manic, unless you're doing something crazy where she has to call the police on you. And that's the thing, guys. Just because somebody's bipolar when they're manic, that doesn't mean that we're gonna go on crime sprees and just be having sex for hours on hours and just be destroying furniture like the dude on the grassy. Like, no, that's not a real thing, bro. I'm sure somebody does that. I'm sure 2% of the bipolar people in the world in America do that, but I don't do that, and other people don't do that. Yes, I got really angry one time when I got in an argument with my girlfriend, and I destroyed my mother's basement, but I cleaned it up, and she didn't even know. But yeah, that wasn't I don't even think I destroyed. Whatever. You gotta have a very masculine woman or a very feminine woman. The balanced woman, I wouldn't recommend because nobody's gonna wanna have to deal with that. Nobody's gonna want to deal with that. My vibe right now, she's just perfect. I think, you know what? I'm not gonna say all of that because that's none of your business. But yeah, you gotta have somebody that knows how to respond to your mania and how to respond to your depression. Because like I said, the masculine woman is going to be able to motivate you out of your depression. It's going to be able to ground you when you're manic. The feminine woman is going to be able to is going to learn how to give you space and when to nurture you when you're depressed. Okay, facts. Now, the last thing that I would have to say is this. This is not just me because I've seen this with people that are bipolar, right? We tend to have laser sharp focus on something, on anything for a very long time to the point where it can be considered an obsession. Just having, I don't want to even use the word obsession, but having laser sharp focus and just wanting to get something done and complete a project. Because that is, I think that comes with maturity though. Because when I was younger, I used to start a lot of projects. But just taking that into consideration, I do want you to understand that your attention is going to be a little harder to balance your newfound loves with your girlfriend or your boyfriend because you just want to keep doing this. You just want to keep finding all the information on Israel, Palestine, and Jane Mansfield. And it's usually subjects where you can't even just go in and just look at it. It's something where you have to have the underground information and watch interviews from people that were actually there. It's nothing like 9/11. 9/11 happened, what, like 20 years ago, right? 2001. You could easily find information about 9/11. You can't find information about the Titanic, bro. Like, you can, but that was like 100 years ago type shit. Like, so it's usually random things that just pulls your attention for literally 2 seconds. And then you neglect your girlfriend or your boyfriend because you're doing research on a computer on something that you really don't even care about like that. I care about Jane Mansfield and everything great that she did for the culture. But when I really sit down and think about it, I'm like, I don't need to know all of this information about the pink palette. You know what? No, that's a lie. Because Jane Mansfield was dope, my nigga. She had a pink, I'm getting this, bro. She had a pink fountain with pink champagne in it. If that's not the most player shit I ever heard in my motherfucking life, I don't know what is. But anyways, yeah. So balance out what your interest with your relationships, and if you are gonna obsessively research something or do something, try to involve your partner. Fortunately, all of my partners have been involved with my music and they were not close to it. They could either help me make beats, help me with some vocals, help me mix, help me pick beats, rewrite my songs, write my songs. That's another thing, baby. If you don't do music, then I can't do you, so it's just not gonna happen. So give up, stop trying, baby. But it is what it is, and it's not what it's not, man. It's Aaron Moses. That was my list of what? I can't remember how many things. But yeah, bipolar disorder and relationships. I'm the bang, you the bang, we the bang together, man. Life is in the breath, breathe that I am. Wop.